Good morning, good morning. So there's quite a bit of resistance here on SVRE. It tried to break over 3 a couple of times and wasn't able to, but it gives us a little bit of a cushion to trade the next stock that pops up. And I'm assuming that there is going to be one. SVRE, all the way back up to highs, a little bit of a bear trap. Let's see if it holds this level and continues, dropping back all the way to 3. I'm going to take a starter here, looking for the bounce back up to 40s. That's 31, that's 26, having a tough time. Average position 30. Starter is at 30. That's 30 there. 31. Looking for the pop. Not going though. So stopping out. I have a cushion on the day, so I'm able to push it a little bit more than I typically do. See if this dips down and then rallies back up. Adding here at 22. Watching for the pop all the way to 30. That's 30 there. Now watching for the squeeze through 40. Taking some off at 36. Now watching for the squeeze all the way back to 40s. See if it's strong enough. Resistance here at 35. Average position 22. Still watching for the breakthrough 40. The first 1 minute candle make a new high here, but dropping back down. Adding back here. Now watching for the pop back up through 20s. That's average position 16 right now. Stop is at 7. It's worth these stabs, I do think. MACD's crossing over negative though, unfortunately. So yeah, back to break even on this one. Yeah, there's no news on this one, but just, TNMG moving a little bit, lighter volume. We'll see what that ends up happening with that one over there. Up to 320. I don't see any news on TNMG either. Breaks through highs there. Up a total of 45% so far, third leading gainer in the morning. No news, runner. Back down to 40s. See if it holds this level here. Wanting to see it dip down a little bit further. Back up to 36, 37. Interesting. There's a little bit of selling in this area for sure. SVRE pretty much sell off there. Back up to 84s, 85. Big seller here, just over 4. See if it holds 4 here. Seller coming in, 18,000 shares. Watching for the breakthrough 4 here. Adding here at 412, looking for the squeeze all the way up through 425. There you go. That's watching for 450 now. Big seller coming in. It's possible that this could turn around pretty quickly, but that big seller there is just not going away. A lot of green orders there. What's interesting is this actually looks like a pretty decent pattern setting up for the breakup over 4. Adding here at 94, watching for the pop through 4. Big seller here. I'm going to give it a chance to jump. No, I'm stopping out. So back to break even. Just trying to wait for, timing on a really good stock to start pulling away, kind of like what we had yesterday. GWAV hitting the scanner, a little bit of lighter volume. I mean, I kind of have to pull it up now since we've been seeing a lot of great momentum recently. ATGL setup forming. I don't see any news on GWAV. US company, Green Wave Technology Solutions, popping up to 714 there. A little bit of sellers here at 50s. You have to be careful on a move like this. Big seller here, dropping down. Adding here, looking for the squeeze, but small loss because I added a little bit too late. Yeah, it's slightly late add there. It's unfortunate. We might see the squeeze through 8 now, though. There's 820 now. Big seller here at 801. Let's see if it holds here at 8. Could look nice for the breakthrough 8 again. That's 84. 802. 816. Wow, what a move. But I want to see if this starts turning around, because if this turns around, then it could be pretty nasty. I don't see any news on GWAV. TNMG, way below VWAP there. People kind of jumped off that as soon as GWAV started moving. Watching to see if this is a possible dip below VWAP. We've seen a lot of these moves happen recently. So dipping down there at 18.7. Adding here, looking for the bounce up to 730. That's 728, 730 there. Taking some profit off. Looking for the bounce all the way back up, but not going immediately. Just taking the rest off, almost break even on it. Watching this dip all the way down to 650s. Seeing if it wants to give a bounce. Decent bounce to 680 and 713. So pretty much just chopping out break even today at the minute. Nothing fully pulling away. Entries aren't super dialed either. Vero curling back up to 384. It looks nice maybe for this breakthrough, this pivot level. 384. And then highs right now, 408. There's up to 90 on Vero. Interesting. Adding here at 4, watching for the breakthrough 4 here. There's 402, 405. That's nice. Watch to see if this holds 4 and then squeezes through 410, 408 for breakthrough high a day. It looks really strong. Average position 398. There's 4, 403, 407, 410. That's nice. Now just holding. I'm just going to hold this to see if it wants to hold over high a day here. As it starts curling, I'm looking for 420. Nice. That's 415. 416. Still looking for 420 here. That's 420 there on the ask. Big seller coming in. I didn't take any profit off of 420. I'm still looking to see if this one wants to continue moving up higher. Taking some off there for that big seller. Looking to see if it holds this range and then continues to go. That's 416. Nice. Taking some more off there. 416. Now looking for the breakthrough for 425. That's 425. Nice. Now going up to 430. Now watching for the breakthrough 450. That's 450. Nice. Taking some off there. Now watching for the breakthrough 465. And let's see how much we can pull out of it. Taking half off there again. Holding the rest. A little bit of a topping tail coming in. Nice job, trucker. Nice trading. Now you're watching for the breakthrough 5 here. Looks really strong. I think we will get the break of 5. Might just need some time to consolidate in this area before squeezing. So just holding some of my position left at 398. Watching for 45. There you go. And then watch that squeeze through $5 a share. There you go. Nice up to 510 there. See if it holds 5. Kind of dropping all the way back down. It's a little unfortunate. There you go. There's back up to 5. Let's see if it holds 5 on the bid. Kind of rejecting over 5. New 5-minute candle forming as well. Could look strong for the break over. For a split second there. But once again, not holding. So I'm going to cut it there as it dips back down. I like this curl through VWAP. Could stop out some shorts. So watching 2 stocks at the same time, not always the best. But people jump off pretty quickly on some of these. Switching back over to Vero. Watching for the breakthrough. I'm going to take a starter here at 5. Looking for the breakthrough 510. 506. Back down to 5. See if it squeezes through 5 here. That's 502. Some selling here. Giving a chance to go. There's 5, 503, 505. Taking some at 506 because it's struggling to get back above 506. Taking it all off there. Looking to add back. That's 5. So could have been a really good trade. Should have held a little bit longer. Dipping down slightly. Adding here at 513. Looking for the squeeze all the way back up through 20s. There's 513, 520s. Nice. Up to 527, 536. Now let's see if this can start squeezing up to 550. There's 550 there for a split second, I think. No, 548 high. Watching to see if this one wants to break all the way back up through 550 here and start squeezing up to 6. Some selling coming in. There's 550. Nice. Only breaking 550 by a couple of cents though. On a short squeeze like this, typically what you want to see it do is start jumping. And if it starts jumping, it looks really nice. There you go. 565 there. Nice. What I learned from yesterday is hold just slightly a bit longer on these pops because you never know if they're going to extend through $6, $7, $8, $9, $10 a share. It could just start ripping. So I'm just going to hold a little bit longer to see if we can get to 6. New 5-minute candle forming as well. Could be strong. Average right now is 513. 570. Let's see if it starts breaking up through 575 now. 72. Struggling in this area. Taking some off here. I really want to see it snap through 6. Back up to 580s. Adding here just under 6, see if it can snap over 6. There you go. Taking some profit off at 6, see if it can hold 6, and then squeeze back through. Watching for the squeeze through 6. Kind of topping out here. Holding the rest of my shares just under 6. There's 613. Watching for the squeeze through 625. That's 610. Big seller there. Dropping down below 6. So that was a scalp through the $0.50 there. Or the whole dollar, sorry, at 6. What a sweet move. Hopefully you guys caught some of that. That was really nice. What's interesting is, I don't even know if this is the top. I mean, it might continue to squeeze. Yeah, what a lovely market, Pete. I agree. It's been really nice to trade this. So, the goal for Vero now, what I'm thinking is, if we can get back through 6 after holding the support level, we can see that extension. But right now, we're extended out to 5. How did I do on Wednesday? Wednesday I didn't do too well. Thursday I did well. I was green Wednesday, but not as much as I should have been, trading pretty large positions. Well, large is relative, but for me, bigger positions on a more expensive stock, and I didn't do too well. But Thursday I did well, and then coming into Friday so far, decent. What I've been doing though, unfortunately, is I'm trading the front side of these moves and then giving back on the back side of the moves. And that you could see that all for SVRE and TNMG. I was both green on them. So what I might do from now on is, once I get good green or decent green, I might be done with that stock and then switch off to the next one. The problem with it is that, like, let's say if I do get green, and then I start trading the back side of a move, thinking it's going to go higher, thinking it's still the front side, and that's where it becomes a little bit of a problem. So the high day breakouts are working right now, but as soon as we get a colder market, the strategy has to shift a little bit. This is interesting. MACD has crossed over negative though. I'm worried about a little bit of a rejection. Let's see how strong it is. Watching for the breakthrough 6. Adding here at 92. Watching to see if this snaps through 6. Average position 88. 93. 85. 80. 88. There you go. 6 there on the ass. 605. Nice, taking some profit off. 620. Whoa. Okay. Holding the rest of this to see if it starts squeezing back up to 650 here. Didn't take any profit off at 634, thinking that it might start squeezing, but now back down to 610. Taking some more off here, seeing if it holds 6. Holding the rest break even. Stopping out. So for those that are on Webull right now, I did come out with a level 2 video. Trucker, actually Breakout Trucker, he's a member of the community. He sent out a video for me to look at and help him analyze the level 2. And so it was just about a 20-minute long video, and we broke down a move on, I believe it was ROLR, or I think it was on SPHL. And so he sent that over. He asked me to break it down and help him analyze the level 2. So if you guys are on the Webull platform and you want to get a little bit of better understanding on how to use it and my suggestions for it, definitely go check it out. I think it was a good video. I gave off some suggestions. Some of it was at the start was a little bit just to do with the layout itself, but come to realize that it's not his normal layout, which is great because there was a lot of stuff going on. And so he sent me the regular picture of the layout, and then we break down the level 2 on what you can be looking for and what I would be looking for on the platform. The only thing I would say about Webull, it is a little bit slow, and so you have to time the breakouts before they happen, because all of a sudden it'll be from, like, there was an example, one of the first, there was a breakthrough high a day at 428. You didn't even see 428 break. It was 425 and immediately up to 1620. And so you have to be really quick if you're timing breakouts with Webull, but that's where the tape kind of helps in a little bit, because the tape is a lot quicker from what I've noticed than the level 2 itself. And so I would definitely check that out. I'm gonna actually come out with a post. Vero. Yeah, you know, this one could give another nice extension up. I'm gonna wait till the 9 EMA gets closer to the 5 there, but it's definitely worth watching. Still some selling pressure here. Adding here at 98, watching for that breakthrough 6. That's 613. That's nice. Now watching for this breakthrough 625. That's 620. That's 625. Now watching for the squeeze through 640. Taking some more profit off here through high a day. This looks really nice for that squeeze. Holding. There you go. There's your snap through. Now watching for the breakthrough 650. Just holding this as it starts squeezing. Back down to 24 though. I wanted to see it hold through high a day. Back up to 630. Taking quarter off there. Average position right now, 95. High a day is 43. There you go. Let's see if it holds over 650 here. And then curls. Looking for the breakthrough 7. There's 70. Watch for the breakthrough 75 and then 80. There's 80. Nice. Looking to take some profit off at the squeeze through 7. If it starts getting over 7, you could look really nice for the squeeze through $8 a share and for it to start pulling away. So watch here if it's super strong. Dipping down below 650. So cutting the rest there for just over $100 of profit on the day. As well as Vero curling back up here. Kind of looking like a curl rejection pattern. Let's see if this can squeeze back through 650 here as it's curling back up. Watching for the break up through highs. There's 20, 22. Still watching for the break through the high, which is 26, 27. Adding here 25. Looking for, there's 26. Back down to 20s though. Giving it a second to move. So cutting it there, looking for the add back if it wants to curl back around. So I took this dip here down in this area. I looked for this extension, took some profit off as it was moving up higher, added back, looking for this extension, added back, looking for this extension, added back, dips, add back. So that, you know, I just kept buying some of these dips, looking for those extensions back up. So that was my my trades on this one. All of those stocks are blocked on Schwab. Wow, those are pretty much all the stocks that moved up today. Yeah, it's almost time to pack it up on Schwab. It looks like it's impossible to trade most of the moves. Yeah, it's not very catered to us day traders. You know, I think they're more looking for that investor sector rather than you know, our type of trading. PFSA. My opinion on PFSA is, you know, it's a little bit cheaper. I typically don't trade anything below $2. Just kind of a rule I set out in place because I don't trade well on those. And so if this one's going to be thickly traded, you're really going to only be looking for, you know, a couple cents of profit. For me, I'm just going to be hands off on this, not really too interested. But if you're trading on an account like Webull or, you know, Charles Schwab, even if it's possible to trade, you know, it could be a little bit beneficial. But for me, you know, hands off. 15 minutes left until we come up to the market open here. You know, got to remember that market holiday for Monday. There's going to be a no trading day. So, you know, market closed on Monday. Right now, our leading gainers up 300% Vero. Volumes almost 100 million shares traded so far on a float. That's 1.3 million. JFBR is our second leading gainer. This is up 104%. Float right now is less than a million shares. 68 million shares of volume traded on that one. LCFY, that one made a pretty nice move here. This one's up a total of, let's see, 88%. Made a really nice rally from the low here. Didn't really expect this to dip off a VWAP as well as it did. I didn't trust this entry. I got back in here. Then it rips and pops without me. You know, I sold off. I tried to take a couple stabs in this area. Wasn't able to produce good enough profit. These dip trades were what we're paying, and I was not buying those dips, unfortunately. Good morning, John. So market open here, watching to see if this one wants to start squeezing up through $6 a share. There's 580, 585. Nice. Watch this dip, and then that squeeze through $6. So that's 599 there. I want to see if it can hold over 6. That's very important for the stock. There you go. There's 608 there as it starts popping back up. A lot of people are buying into this squeeze. That's nice. So, I was up a total of $100 at my peak, 105, I think it was. I gave back, 20% off the top. That's typically where you start to, call it quits here. But if Vero wants to continue moving up and pulling away up over 628, maybe you can see that next extension. Yeah, nice job, Q. I think you had a wonderful week this week. You definitely pulled out some really nice winners. So it's awesome to see your journey and how much you're producing. So really nice job. Back up here to 620. You do have some resistance here at about 20,000 shares up over 620. So there's a pop over there to 623, 640. Nice. Up to 650. Okay. So now we can get a little bit more serious on this one for a possible squeeze through high of day here. Nice little bit of a move coming in on Vero. Let's see if it can hold over 650. That's 660 there. Nice. Watching for a small dip. There's just a lot of selling on this pressure as well. I think a lot of people are probably unwinding their shares from holding underneath 550 there, buying those dips. So I can imagine some profit taking and a dip trade off this level. So I'm just going to be patient here, wait for the breakthrough high of day. Earlier pre-market. Join dtsm.com or drivethestockmarket.com. Both work. All right, so let's see if it dips down, holds support, and then curls back through. There's some resistance here, 20,000 shares at 7. It makes sense, some selling coming through. I just want to see the next leg go higher up to 750 and then pull away maybe to 8, halt up, and this is a really strong move. So 711 there, 712. I'll take a starter here at 712 to see if it wants to start popping back up for a small ad back up to 720s. If a big seller comes back in, I'll pretty much sell flat immediately. There's 710, 715, 720. There you go. Up to 730 there. That's nice. Let's see if it pops through 740 and 750. Some selling coming in. So I'm all out there. Wanted to see that breakthrough highs. All right, so let me lock up today here. I'm going to export my file and upload it to DAS. So 11/16/2026. Really good morning today. We finished up with 25 trades, typically higher than the average, around 60% winners. I started today off on a nice green winner. I wasn't able to retain that though, gave back most of the move, 3 trades red. Stop trading that stock. That's a good one. Then curls back around. TNMG was green on it, then went small red. Was able to pick back up on GWAVs. One red trade, one green trade. It's all right. Try to give it a couple of attempts, and then Vero started kicking off. Had a back-to-back really nice winners. Small loss, another nice winner. Small loss, couple nice winners, and that finished off the day today with $87 of profit. At my peak here this morning, I finished up, I was up $100. And so, it's a really good stretch here of green days. I will be coming out with a recap later on today if you guys want to check that out on my trades from this morning. Thanks everyone for tuning in today. And we'll see you back on Tuesday. Remember, market is closed on Monday. So peace everyone, and we'll see you coming into next week. Have a nice day, everyone.